What's up everyone, it's Josh here, and today I'm going to be talking about my latest build. It's the duel scene from Prince Caspian where Peter is fighting Miraz. I built this scene in 2014 for a contest on Block Pages, and you can see it's terrible. It's amazing what 10 years of experience and new pieces can do. Before we jump into the build, if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button below so you stay up to date when I drop new content. Let's get into the build. So I started with a 32 by 32 plate because I know that I don't have enough pieces to build anything bigger at the moment. I nearly ran out of detail pieces building this build, and it's only 32 by 32, so I have to work within my limits right now. I used 2x4 bricks to brick off the center area where the duel takes place, and then started throwing slope pieces down of various sizes to get the cobbled look and feel that I wanted, because this is supposed to be an area that's in disarray and hasn't been taken care of. It's the area where Aslan was sacrificed on the stone table hundreds of years ago, so it's supposed to be broken down and run down. And I think that the technique of using the slope pieces on their side really gives that look and feel, and it turned out pretty well for how I was imagining it. This is kind of how I pictured it. So there's a slight decline going down into the area where Peter and Miraz are fighting, and I wanted to capture that, so I used these angled plates to try and do so, and then forgot that it's supposed to be a stone area, so I had to pull them all up and then put the gray angle plates down instead, which was unfortunate, but it worked out. And then I was trying to figure out how wide the columns should be. Should they be 3 studs? Should they be 4 studs wide? I ended up going with, I think, 4 studs wide. And then I was experimenting different ways to build the columns. I knew that I was going to use the 1x1 headlight bricks with 4 studs on the side, so I was going through my collection finding all of those. And then at the base I tried a couple different things. First I tried using 2x2 bricks, and then I tried using the 2x2 slope pieces to try and capture like the right angle, because it kind of like starts wide at the bottom and then goes a little more narrow going up to the top and then flares out again. I ended up going with 2x2 plates at the base, 2 of them stacked on each other, because I used I think at the base it's 4 plate thickness, but that allowed me to get the slope by dropping a level at every 2 or every other stud. So it starts at like 4, then it goes to 3, then it goes to 2, and so on, up until it reaches 1 flat tile at where it meets the start of the next sloping out to create that like flare at the top. And then I also had started with 1x8 plate on the like center of the column, and ended up switching to the ingot piece instead because I thought it looked better and added a lot more detail. And that's something that I really wanted to go for in this build. I haven't really experimented with like columns or details on buildings or like column stuff. I really haven't. Architecture, that's the word I'm looking for. I haven't really experimented with architectural detail before, and so I knew that the ingot piece would be pretty useful, and it turned out way better than I thought it would, just the level of detail that it added to the pillars. Then I had to build the top of the pillar, the little roof thing that is overgrown with grass, so I used plates and then headlight bricks with, I think they're headlight bricks, just bricks with studs on the side to attach ingot pieces again to add that extra level of detail. Then I moved on to building the broken down walls on the corner of I'm going to call it the arena, because that's basically what it is, a glorified arena. And I used a lot of cheese slope pieces to create the jagged edges of the broken down walls, and then the entire area is pretty much overgrown with grass and weeds that are just creeping through the cracks. So I filled in the tops of those with various grass pieces and weeds, leaf pieces, to create that vegetation on the broken walls. And then I added the cobbled approach to the arena from the Narnian side, and tried using the ingot bricks and then some 1x1 flat pieces. Then I started tiling off the back behind it, and at this point it's turning out pretty well. I was pretty satisfied with where it was at. I sent a couple pictures to friends, and I was like, hey, can you depict the scene, or can you tell what the scene is just from the image? And most of them got it. I ran out of headlight bricks that were 1x1 with studs on all 4 sides building the columns. I was able to get 4 whole columns, 2 of the destroyed half columns, before having to switch to a different design for the column in the right corner. And that's a note to self, is to buy more headlight bricks, the 1x1s with studs on all 4 sides. Such a useful piece. After that, it was just tiling off the rest of the build, adding a few more small details, and adding the minifigures. Here's what it ended up looking like. Back when I was a teenager, I didn't have attention to detail, and you can see that in the 2014 mock. I thought that a minifigure made the build. I didn't understand that the detail makes the build, that using pieces like the ingot piece and the cheese slope piece is going to really bring the build to life and add that extra texture and layer of detail that the just throwing haphazard pieces on a plate isn't going to do. You know, I tried to make like a broken down, destroyed rubble look by just putting pieces on, and like, oh, I changed an elevation, I made this brick higher than this brick, and I thought that added that level of detail, but it really didn't. And now that I have a better understanding of how to use pieces and how to like see and visualize that detail, I think that this mock, the redoing of it, turned out so much better than the 2014 mock. Minifigure detail is just one of the aspects that adds to the mock, not the entire mock. And so now that I understand that as an adult and understanding how to use pieces right, I have seen a massive improvement in the quality of my build from when I was building back in 2014 to 2018. Well, I forget when I stopped, 2016, 2018, somewhere in that range. Let me know what you guys thought of the build in the comments below, and please tear apart my old mock, but tell me what your favorite part of the new mock is and how I improved from 2014 to now. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button below so you stay up to date when I drop new videos. I'm going to be releasing every week, usually on Mondays. Last week was on Tuesday. I had a busy week, but hopefully trying to stay consistent on Mondays. So keep an eye out every Monday so you don't miss the latest videos. And don't worry, I didn't forget about the Republic Commando novel building series. More builds on the Republic Commando theme coming soon. I just had to get the minifigures first, and I'm rereading through the books because I want to make sure I'm picking the best scene and understanding what I'm going to build and make sure I'm capturing all the detail. So I am doing the series. I'm just still working through some of the planning because I want to make sure I'm doing it well. I knew I wanted to do Darman and Etain meeting, but I didn't have a great idea of what I wanted to do from 000. I don't know which scene I want to do. So working through that, make sure you stay tuned because the rest of this build series is going to be pretty awesome. And guys, blown away by the support for the channel. Really appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in every week. I'll see you guys next week.